Welcome to the We Are Wake Tech podcast with your host, Wake Tech President, Dr. Scott Ralls.
Hi, I'm Scott Ralls, and welcome to the We Are Wake Tech podcast. This is a special podcast because we're on site here today at Wake Tech East, and a very special day here at Wake Tech. And with us, I'm going to let them tell us why this is so special, is our Provost for our public safety programs, Dr. Jamie Wicker, and the Director of our Fire Academy training programs, Craig Daigle. Why is this a big day, Jamie and Craig?
It's such a big day for fire training in Wake County because when we train public safety personnel, there is no substitute for the ability to really train in the conditions you're going to be training in. Fire service is completely different than learning any other skill set. And so if you could imagine learning to do something and then you can't see, you can't breathe, you can't feel, and then you have to do it perfectly every time because that's what's required of you as a first responder and as a firefighter. So we get to do that under these conditions in this facility. And so at our fire training center that we'll have 6 stories where we can burn in. As you know, around Wake County, we're seeing not just residential development, but we're seeing high-rise and higher development. So in order to fight fire above 24 foot, which is roughly 2 stories, you need to deploy some type of apparatus. Well, that requires training and opportunity to do that under live fire. We can do that here.
That's great. And I heard Chief Cone from the Nightdale police chief today, or fire chief today, saying that this may be one of the most unique facilities in the state, if not in this part of the country. Why is this facility going to be so unique?
Primarily because we are looking ahead to mid-rise and high-rise operations, being able to burn on 6 stories. There's a lot of challenges that come with fighting fire at mid-rise and high-rise operations. There's a lot of challenges that come with flowing big water, carrying hand lines, just the sheer ability to get the equipment to the levels that you need. A lot of agencies don't invest in that kind of training centers, and they'll say, hey, let's fight fire on 1 floor or 2 floors, and imagine you're up higher. So being able to do that is a tremendous investment into fire training, but nobody really has that. Nobody burns above 2nd or 3rd story. That's right, because it causes structural degradation, and it can be very difficult for a lot of logistical reasons. Also, our facility doesn't just resemble a home or a commercial building. We have it so that different floors represent different things. So one would look like a home, one would look like a warehouse, one would look like an apartment building, and a lot of burn buildings don't do that.
Craig, most days when I see you, you're a little out of uniform today.
Yes.
So you're usually in your suit ready to train, but as the person who leads the instruction, why is this going to be a difference maker in terms of what you do and the training for our valuable firefighters?
So I think this is going to be a first of its kind in the state, where it's a one-stop shop for pretty much every technical rescue or fire type scenario that we could reproduce in one spot. So I see days out here where we have multiple classes running at one time. We could have fires going in the burn building at the same time. We could have very technical rescues happening in the clean tower. We can fight every fire from a ground fire to a 6-floor fire, which is nowhere else that I know of regionally that you can do that. And when I say regionally, I mean mid-Atlantic. I think that's another important thing to point out is I think we could see Asheville to Wilmington having interest to come and use this facility because, again, it is one of a kind in our state.
Yeah, because our cities are growing up and the fires
Yes, sir.
are. So one of the things we're very proud of at Wake Tech is our partnership with Wake County, the Wake County Fire Academy. And certainly Wake County, we would not be here if it was not for the voters of Wake County, the residents of Wake County, the county commissioners, our board of commissioners who've helped us have the funding through bond funding for this and our other facilities. Talk about a little bit why that partnership with Wake County, the Fire Academy, our great partners, is so important to our community here in Wake County.
I think it's so important because we know that people are coming to Wake County. We know that public safety is a priority and on the minds of people who are moving to communities. And in Wake County, we have such well-trained public safety personnel, not just fire, but EMS and law enforcement. And it's important that we can train together, and we can do that at this facility. having that partnership with our stakeholders and with the county allows us to really be a force multiplier for each other. So we are not competing for resources with each other. We really have this holistic vision together at the table saying, what is it that you need and what can you bring? What is it that you need and what can you bring? So collectively, we can pool resources to serve the citizens of Wake County better, and we appreciate that we have that partnership.
And Dr. Wicker, on your days off, you'll sometimes work as a firefighter or EMT or law enforcement. I guess, I don't know, what do you choose in the morning, or when do you make those choices? What uniform you're going to?
Yeah, so I kind of just follow the pager, and the police kind of call me in advance, and then the fire, I just go whenever the pager goes off and I'm available.
And Craig, like so many of our great faculty, you bring a ton of real world experience into this role that you have. Can you talk a little bit for us, tell us a little bit about your journey here, what you were doing beforehand, and from that perspective, having been on the fire service side, why is this investment that's being made now, these buildings that will go up, why are they important?
Actually, right now is a perfect time. We have.
Now tell me what you did before you got to Wake Tech.
So I'm retired captain from Cary Fire Department. Worked for Cary Fire Department for 29 years. Retired last July. A full-time position came available at the college, and I've been teaching for Wake Tech since 1996. So I started part-time about 2 years ago, and the transition to full-time is just perfect timing for me in my retirement. So I was able to take that position. So I've been teaching a lot with the academies over the years, and again, we've been teaching at a facility down at Sharon Harris, which is a Wake County facility with that partnership with Wake County. And again, perfect time, and that facility has served us very well, but that facility is also 30 years old. And what we're doing right now is that next 40 years of viable training will happen right here where we see a swamp behind us right now. So I'm really excited and looking forward to being able to burn here. I told a lot of people this morning, I remember when I was a child sneaking around and finding a Christmas gift maybe a month or two early, and I feel like I have that feeling right now. Like I'm seeing what we're going to get for Christmas in 14 months, and I'm
it's like
so
getting the catalog
when
you're a kid.
I've been privy to it for a couple months during the design process, and I cannot wait to share those drawings with all of Wake County and show them exactly what we're getting, because it is such a unique building. Every floor is different on both structures. No two floors look the same. Again, in the burn building, the first 2 floors look like a residence, and then above that changes from industrial to commercial, residential, multifamily. It really represents everything that we need in the fire service, and as an instructor, it's critical for us to have those things to be able to teach real world experience and share our real world experience.
And to get to real world, you need the real world to help design. And I know along the way, our fire chiefs who are with us today for the groundbreaking and other members of the fire service played an integral role. And there were times along the way where Dr. Wicker, you and others would say, look, they say we need to do this. And so there's been a lot of engagement and involvement into the design we have today.
That's right, and I want to point out one thing that's really unique about our training tower. We've talked a lot about fire, but fire suppression doesn't just involve fire, and being a good firefighter involves a lot of problem solving, and that includes making scenes safe to be able to go in to address whatever you need, and that involves rope rescue and technical rescue. In our other training tower, one of the things that's really unique that I'm excited about is we heard from one of those experts in our technical rescue, Yogo Sorensen, that he needed a place to tie off students for high angle rescue, not just 1 or 2, but several at a time. We also know from our experience with public safety that even though you do this job in the weather, it can be miserable. So if you can train in a better scenario, you want to do that. So we took the second floor of the training building and we took the floor out and created a mezzanine with a rail around it. So what that creates an opportunity to tie off 12 to 16 students at a time, so that students get more evolutions of whatever skill they're doing with high angle rescue, so they can be more proficient, and it's inside without the rain, without the heat, and they can do that more under better conditions.
So it's like reps for a football player, the more you get to them.
Exactly. People say practice makes perfect. That's not true. Perfect practice makes perfect. So we want to have that opportunity for students to get it perfect repeatedly.
And we've got a great practice facility now.
An incredible practice facility.
And one thing about our facilities that you've been such a leader in, but one thing that's happening at Wake Tech is we're creating when we build things, we're not really building classrooms much anymore. We're building these very unique simulated work environments, from our amazing public safety simulation complex, our new biopharma simulated facility will be in our Advanced Technology Center, this facility, EMS, our new simulated hospital. It really is about real world education, where you're not just saying pretend, you almost are in those scenarios.
You are, and I think about, I think my son is a firefighter, and so I think about what would I want him to train in, and what conditions would I want him to be prepared for. And being in public safety for more than 20 years myself, there's literally no substitute for rolling up on a situation and going, I've seen this before, I know what to do, I have a plan, because I've trained it, and I've been able to train it with some control so that it's safe, even if we're doing something strange, so that I can learn exactly how to handle it and what the outcomes might be. There's no substitute for that, and the payoff of that is dividends for the community and for the safety of our firefighters.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to let you close us out, because this is just another step in what has been a tremendous trajectory in terms of public safety education. Now, Wake Tech is the largest public safety education provider in North Carolina, and we not only keep growing, but we're growing in our capacities to do things we have not been able to do before. Tell us just a little bit about how that blends in with where this breadth of public safety education opportunity is going.
Well, I think in the past, people look at fire, police, EMS, corrections kind of as individual lanes. And while they are, what is really difficult to do is be able to do a lot of things well, like train people at a basic level and train people at an advanced level. And so what we have the capability to do with this, our other facility and our hospital facility that's coming, is we have the ability to simulate entire shifts for entire cities, for entire public safety personnel, where we can literally say, you're going to work a shift, we're going to have role players, we're going to set up for you to respond to an incident, put out a fire, take somebody to the hospital, work with communications, respond to a hazmat incident, and transport somebody to the hospital, and have our telecommunicator students doing the telecommunicating through that. So I don't know anywhere else that does that or even has the ability to do that. So when you talk about a day in the life, we don't have to imagine segmented parts of that anymore. We can absolutely say with confidence that all of our students at whatever level are prepared to do whatever their day occurs from what we are able to do here.
Well, we like to say, expect the unexpected at Wake Tech. It's exciting times. It's really exciting times with public safety education at Wake Tech. Thank you for joining us today on the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Thank you to Craig, Dr. Wicker, Jamie for being a part of this. Thank you to all our fire service community for your commitment to our community, your courage, your bravery. We are honored to be your partners at Wake Tech. It's an exciting time. Big things are happening with our new Fire and Rescue Training Center here, soon to be at Wake Tech East. Thanks again for joining us on the We Are Wake Tech podcast.
I'm Joshua McKinney, and this is your Wake Tech News Update. Wake Tech is leading the way to ensure that firefighters from across the Triangle and beyond are well trained for when the next crisis hits. The college broke ground on a unique $23 million Fire and Rescue Training Center at Wake Tech East. The center will be used for advanced firefighter techniques and an array of rescue scenarios. It'll be the first training facility of its kind in the region. Sustainability was in the spotlight as U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen visited Wake Tech East. Yellen arrived at the campus's award-winning Central Energy Plant with Governor Roy Cooper to hear about Wake Tech's commitment to environmentally friendly building and maintenance practices, as well as how the college is incorporating sustainability instruction in several of its programs. Wake Tech is excited to launch a major effort to help students improve their problem-solving skills. Solve it, say it. Problem solving with an emphasis on communication is the college's new Quality Enhancement Plan, or QEP. The plan aligns with Wake Tech's Reach and Rally strategic plan. Some Wake Tech apprentices are celebrating their new careers, while a group of high school students is ready to embark on the same journey. 13 apprentices in the NC Triangle Apprenticeship Program officially earned their Journey Worker certification, signaling that they have successfully mastered the skills in their field. All have already graduated with electrical, automotive, or engineering degrees and were offered full-time positions by their employers. Congratulations. Wake Tech's newest biotech students received white lab coats courtesy of Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies. A special ceremony at the Southern Wake campus featured some 150 aspiring biotechnologists in Wake Tech's Biotechnology Associate's Degree program and BioWork non-degree training, as well as dual enrolled students in Wake Early College for Information and Biotechnologies, Vernon Malone College and Career Academy, and Knightdale High School. Wake Tech plans to start offering BioWork at East Wake, Cary, and South Garner High Schools later this year. The college is planning 3 life-changing study abroad trips next summer. The trips are offered as part of the college's new global education program. Trips to London, Paris, and Tokyo are lined up for 2025. Thanks to funding from the Wake Tech Foundation, scholarships will be awarded to 2 students per trip. The deadline to apply for a scholarship is October 31st. For more, visit global.waketech.edu. And before we end today's newscast, don't forget, Fall Open House is on the way. Come see Wake Tech. It may be more than you expect. Our Fall Open House is set for 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, October 12th on the Southern Wake campus. For more and to register, visit openhouse.waketech.edu. And that's your Wake Tech News Update.
Pro Tip Shorts! Hi, I'm Ross Notice, Financial Aid Specialist here at Wake Tech Community College. I'm going to give you a few tips regarding using financial aid here at Wake Tech. First, you need to create a studentaid.gov account. You go to studentaid.gov and set up your student FSA ID. Do this before filling out the FAFSA form. Second, you need to have your documents ready. This includes your 2022 tax forms, any balance of bank accounts or cash on hand, and any value of your businesses or farms that you may own. Next, you need to have your contributor information ready. This includes their social security number, their legal first and last name, date of birth, and active email address. A contributor is usually your parents or a spouse. You, the student, should complete your section of the form first before the contributor completes their section. Next, make sure you're reading all the questions and definitions carefully. Consult in-form resources on the FAFSA if you need help, or come to Wake Tech and we can assist you in person. You can also call or email us for assistance. Don't forget to review, sign, and submit the form. Reviewing the questions prior to submission makes it more likely that your financial aid won't have any hiccups or delays. Also, don't forget the last Friday of each month from 1 to 4 p.m. is FAFSA Friday. This is a regular event on our campuses where we have financial aid staff dedicated solely to helping you complete your FAFSA start to finish. Thanks a lot.
Pro Tip Shorts!
Thank you for listening to the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Join us next month for more insightful conversations about the programs and people of Wake Tech and how the college changes lives every day. Be sure to subscribe to your favorite podcast app to have each episode delivered right to your computer or mobile device. For more, find us at podcast.waketech.edu. To learn more about Wake Tech's exceptional educational opportunities, visit waketech.edu.